Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon back with some more DC Universe Online, and we're continuing to take a look at the latest booster bundle. In this video we're going to mostly go into how to use the Chroma Material, the new material and rare item that came out. Because if you tuned in last time, I did actually get lucky, but I kept it sitting in my inventory because I wanted to think about it. But I did finally use it and spent some time with it, and there are some details that are worth showing that could end up helping you with your decision. So we'll go in depth into that, but first we'll also look at the trends and how things have changed. The last video was at the beginning of the promotion, June 2nd, so now we're at June 15th, about halfway through. And the prices, as usual, are USPCPS. And the trending is actually pretty interesting. So let's go from the bottom up. Now I'm not going to go over each color because they somewhat like normalized by type. So previously, when we looked at the Tesla auras, these are the commons in the package. They ranged from 1.7 to 4.5 million. So now they're kind of all mixed together, and they're going to fall roughly around 2.5 to 3. So if you want to get these, I would recommend getting them under 2.5. Like, just keep checking the broker. If you see them for 2 million or 2.5 or even lower, just go for them. They will go up in price later when these expire. But with the commons, I wouldn't say they went up or down. Like the lowest and highest probably changed, and the average is probably roughly the same. The one that's sort of surprising is the gleaming type, because they actually fell. These last week, both there are only two of these, blue and orange, and they were both around 17. If you look at them now, they're going to fall around 12 or 13. So I don't know what to attribute that to, except that maybe people just favor the Teslas. And that's a little bit surprising, because if you look at the gleaming, it's definitely more intense, and generally the DCU audience goes for the more intense type. But I don't know, maybe this gleaming type is a little bit more specific, because like if you look at the orange one, I wouldn't put this on any character type except atomic. And the blue is sort of like a blue version of that, which could match quantum. The Teslas seem a little bit more flexible, even though they're less intense. So let me pull up one of those. For comparison, let's look at orange. So it's much more subtle, but I mean, I could see this one being used for several power types. Like, it could be fire, it could be atomic. Might want it for super speed, could be for electric. Or since it's subtle enough, maybe you're just trying to color match a costume. So the Teslas are possibly just, more usable, so maybe they're favored more. But the gleaming ones are still at a higher price point. They just dropped from where they were before. And the higher price point is simply because they're more rare. And the top one is the reward box. Now, this one, just like before, it's too rare to really gauge a price. Like, I don't think it's actually 500 million. Like, as I checked across the week, this one was going up. Last time when we looked at this, it was about 270 million. I would say it's averaging around 3. So this single one here is a bit high. However, like by the end of the promotion, this could be the average. Like that's how rare it is. And it's just not the rarity by itself, but also when people are getting this, they're consuming it, so that's adding to the frequency. Okay, let's take a look at some of these. So this is the red version. It actually took me a few days to decide on this. I consumed the purple one on Alina first because her colors are clearly purple. However, Alyssa, I couldn't decide between red or blue, but I ended up going with red after looking at a bunch of resources on the web. Some useful ones are the original live stream. There's a pretty good article by Gotham Gazette, and I will link to both of those. Unfortunately, in social media, these don't show up too much yet. I think at the time that I checked today, there are maybe 3 posts that have it. So yeah, again, that's a product of the rarity. Like, they make it rare enough so players aren't posting it simply because they're not getting it. Alright, so let me give you a detailed 360 of the red Chroma material. So this is just, it's all parts but the shoulders, cape, and waist. I was able to have room to get that red Phoenix material in there, because I don't want to like apply the whole chroma on every part. Okay, so let's take a look at how this works. So when you open the Chroma box, you're going to get three materials actually. So you'll get the red metallic chroma 1, 2, and 3, and these are just 3 combinations, 3 possible combinations of what they are. So I guess in simplest terms, a chroma material is basically a 3-color material. It's targeting the 3 color slots, and it's kind of a workaround for us not being able to apply 3 different materials to the 3 color slots. So they have to give us like 3 fixed combinations. And if we're looking at combinations that include 3 different types, the highest possible, if you don't repeat, would be 6. So we're getting 3 of those 6. And the way that works is it's 3 times 2 times 1. If it's a combination of 3 allowing repeats, it would be 3 times 3 times 3 for 27 combinations. So unfortunately, we don't have the 27 combinations as we would have if we were using three color swatches. So yeah, these are just 3 presets. All of the chroma materials are made up of 3 colors. There's the chrome, there's the color that's described here, red, and then the darker color is a really dark version of the red. So like if you got blue, it would be blue, chrome, and then like a really dark blue. It might even appear black on this video, but if you like zoom in a lot, go outside, and then like rotate your character, you are going to see that there's a color tint to the dark color. So I think they tried to give us the most variety, but it's not every possible combination. It's only 3 of the combinations. But it seems like the one that's called number 1 is mainly the chrome color. And here we go, I can swap it in. The one that's 2 is the color that's in the name, and 3 is the dark. So these look pretty cool, but they're really a different animal that's not exactly the same as the traditional materials. So it's kind of hard to compare them, like or say like one's better than the other, because I think they're used for 2 different things. Like with the chromas, for the most part, if you're trying to match, like, if you're trying to come up with a unique suit, the chest and legs almost have to be the same from the same set. This one displayed actually isn't, but it took me like a few hours to come up with this combination because I wanted to use the Druid top with something. But let me show you what I had originally, and you'll see what I mean. So I originally had a pole mark here. So this was Alyssa's tank set when it was all one material. I was using the gold material, so it unified two different sets that would normally not work together without materials. So you see it's a little bit off when the chroma is applied because the lines on the top use the light color, but the lines on the bottom use the dark color. So that doesn't work with the same when applied, but if you try to swap in the other two combinations, it also doesn't work. Because this, like, if you look at the bottom piece, that silver would become predominantly red or dark red, and it would no longer match the top anyway. So none of the three combinations end up matching the top. It's something you'll have to play with a lot. Like if you're trying to do unmatched items, that is. So yeah, that's why I had to change the style of the legs. So I'll flip through a couple more. Like, yeah, that's the one I ended up with. And see, that one totally doesn't match because, again, like these dark lines, I would want to be the light red in order to match the top. This one sort of works. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of trial and error. The regular materials are much easier to use because, like, if you look at the set that I started with, this is the Circe battlesuit at the top matched up with Conqueror at the bottom. Two completely different sets. If I took the material off, they completely wouldn't match. But let me show you what this looks like converted into chroma. So that would be replacing this gold here. So it's not bad, but to me that's not great either because I would want this scale texture to be the same color, and it's not. So initially you would start with the same one, and then maybe you would try to swap through the three combinations for the bottom piece and see if it comes up as a match. So, you know, it's kind of, it's a little bit random and a little bit personal taste, but let's say the chances of you trying to match it up with a chroma material is less than if you used like a regular material. Since like a regular material just takes up all the slots. So it's definitely easier to use the regular materials, and you know, up to you with personal taste on coming up with the styles. But in general, what you have working with regular materials just might not necessarily work with the chromas. So yeah, again, use this video and the resources below to make your decision if you're kind of trying to work this out in your head before you consume it. And definitely take your time in making a decision because, as you saw, it's like super expensive, and you don't want to put the wrong material on the wrong character. Alright, so just giving a 360 look at the purple chroma material. This was actually the one I consumed first because this character doesn't have like two colors. Like I pretty much always use purple for her styles. But this is almost the same pieces as the previous armor set. It's just that the gloves and cape are different. And like the other one, the belt, shoulders, and cape are not the Chroma material. That is the mental power material. Oh, and also worth noting, this material type really helps out weapons. Because a lot of the swords have like dark styles for the blades. So even if you color them white, they still come out pretty dark. But that can easily be corrected with these Chroma materials. Okay, just wanted to give you an overview of that because I think it's a little bit more complex than when you actually watch the presentation from the live stream. So this should give you an idea of how it's working and how it compares to other style items. Okay, so I'll probably do another one at the end and see where these end up as far as trends. But yeah, you still have a little bit of time if you want to wait it out. But going by the prices, they don't seem to be dropping that drastically. I mean, I would say if you can afford it, go with the common and the rare, but wait on the gleaming, because the gleaming seems to be inching down a little bit while the other two are going up. Okay, that's it from here. Hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching.